We live?
We're live, and we're back.
Hell
Another
yeah.
Fake Problems podcast on a snowy
another.
Thursday.
Why are you so gassed, dude?
Just running up and down the stairs, dude. I've been sitting all day, and then I was playing video games, sitting more, and then it was like up and down really quick.
Dude, I didn't work out before this.
Oh, dude, what'd you do?
Dude, people just kept calling me.
Oh, for work shit?
Yeah, no, just personal. Well,
just in general?
Work, and then like, you ever end work and then just people just call you and you just don't get time to do anything? Just like
personal calls where people be like, hey, how's it going? Just to check in, and it ends up being like a 2-hour call.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like, I love those people, but it's like, shit, dude, I need a second.
It fucking happens, man.
Yeah.
I feel you. I was going to ask how was the gym, but apparently.
No, it didn't.
So that was just warm-up reps over there that you were doing on the bench.
Oh, yeah. I'm winded, dude.
Dude, if you ever want to get a workout in, it's right it's right fucking there. I've been so bad for the past couple of weeks with not working out, but like I literally have it right there, so there's no excuse not to. Like I literally turn around and it's like, oh, I have to do this now.
Yeah, do you do like formal workouts with?
Yeah.
I feel like if I had that, I would just like bust out a few reps.
Dude, I'm a certified personal trainer, dude. Like legitimately.
I did hear about that.
Yeah. So like, no, I have like full structured thing with progression worked into a whole program.
Can you make me better?
Yeah, dude. I can get. What do you want to do? Do you just want to get like stronger and what every guy wants, muscular and more strong?
Yeah.
Dude,
only upper body.
Dude, what do you follow? This is good content for the beginning of this podcast. There's so many things I want to talk about, but I like talking about.
I thought I'd derail us right away.
I love exercise physiology, but like, what do you do now?
I go to the gym and I just throw some weights around. I got no system.
No way,
really?
Dude. Your potential. You're already like lean, dude. I can get you fucking so jacked and in shape. So like, you don't have like a split for a week. Like you won't have like a Monday, anything.
No,
from different muscles.
Because I don't go consistently enough.
Gotcha.
So it's like usually a Saturday I'll get like a 2-hour workout in. That's consistent.
God. What 2 hours?
Because I only sometimes I can only do it once a week. So I got to do everything. Got to lift and then run and then.
Oh man, you do it all, huh?
Yeah. Does that frustrate you as a personal trainer?
Dude, I've built so many workout programs for people and very curated to like what you want to do with your body, how much cardio you want.
Do you just do it for free?
I have only. Okay. And then it got to a point like if someone wants one, I'll do it, but I'm no longer advertising that like I'd love to make you one.
Yeah.
I'd love to make you one because I know I like doing it I know that you'll probably try to actually do it as opposed to doing like a week and then never ever doing it again. But also no strings attached if I make you one. Don't feel bad if you don't do it.
I'm going to be pissed if it doesn't work.
Dude, I mean, from what you just described of I go in and I throw around some weights, if it didn't work, you would be such an anomaly of like not getting fitter. If I threw what I usually make and you like didn't get stronger or better, you'd be like, what the fuck is going on? The human body is so responsive.
Can you just like, you should go further and be the guy who like wakes people up in the morning. Can I hire you to just like scream at me?
Dude, that'd be awful. Because then I have to wake up early.
Well, it sucks for you.
I'm like just a fucking coach.
Yeah,
for literally no event
I want you to kick the shit out of me. I want you to like
just beat your ass.
No, just yell degrading things while I'm trying to get better, dude. That's what I respond to. I'm all negative,
dude.
I'm negative reinforcement.
I'm the opposite guy.
Really,
I hate that. Like when growing up, I was super into lifting.
Why are we different?
But fuck. Oh, I had one friend in particular who grew up in a pretty he had a rough upbringing, like crazy. Like me meeting him, his dad was a gang member, his mom was a heroin addict, and then like eventually his mom was in and out of rehab, so we just have access to his house to party in all the time because we were like in high school, and so he was like all about the negative reinforcement, which even that phrase is wrong in technical terms. In psychology, there's positive reinforcement. And negative reinforcement. Negative would mean that you're moving an obstacle out of the way to encourage you. So like positive, I would be like, hey, if you do this, I give you candy bar. Negative would be like, I remove this needle in your thigh if you do the thing, which is an extreme stupid example.
So what I'm talking about is like fear of
being like literally like fucking bashing people essentially, and until you scare them, like I guess scare is the wrong word, but you either anger them or scare them into doing the thing from like aggression.
It's like I feel like fear of what you won't get is a big motivator.
Oh, I see. Of being like,
it's like you seen Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
When he's giving that speech and he's like, you're going to roll up next to a guy and see him in his awesome car with his beautiful wife, and you're going to be in your shitty car, and you're. I respond to that shit, like being scared that.
Being scared of becoming nothing. Being not great. Yeah, that works. I guess when I said I don't respond to like negative stuff, is like that friend when we would go to the gym, because we had a period where he was kind of overweight, so I was trying to help him lose weight.
Okay.
But like I'd be he's like, come on, you fucking pussy. Come on. I'm like, it makes me mad at the person, not at like, it takes my mind out of the lift. Every time. Okay. Like my focus goes to like, hey, fuck you, man. Not like, oh yeah, I'm going to bench this now for me. But some people respond to the shit of like, come on, you pussy.
You know what? I think if someone else said it to me, I wouldn't respond to it. I say it to myself though, internally.
That's okay.
Yeah.
See, like, but the second I have an external thing, my attention just goes to that. No longer the thing I'm doing. Right. But some people love that boot camp shit.
Yeah.
Like typical military drill sergeant being like, come on, you fucking fat fuck, lift that shit. And we're like,
I think there's a fine line. I like the intensity, but maybe not like just shitting on
it. Can be intense in a positive way too. You're like, come on, you fucking got this. You might like, I like the motivational pushing you forward as opposed to being like, you can't do it, which I get both sides, and everyone's so different, so different shit works. But I hate when people are yelling at me so much.
Are you a David Goggins guy?
I mean, I've read his book, Can't Hurt Me.
Okay.
You know, I mean, he's an anomaly in himself of just being. It's weird because I respect his like callous your mind thing and the fact that it's all mental, and he'll talk about even in his book and the podcast he is like he did the first 15 years of what he did the wrong way because he was just pushing. He was not thinking.
He overdid it completely.
Oh yeah, he like broke his body many times along this path until he's like what he is now.
Yeah.
And like I feel like a lot of people I've talked to who bring up David Goggins are like, you just got to keep going as hard as you can. Yeah. I see people taking that message every single time from David Goggins, and then that's how you get hurt, like easily.
I didn't read his book, but I heard him on a podcast. I think he said stretching saved his life.
Yeah, he said that he had some hip lumbar complex stuff, which is like literally what keeps everything in your waist and your lower back in terms of like all the muscles and ligaments there. So it was like in a knot, which can happen. I mean, if you're just lifting and you're running 100-mile races, your body's not really meant to do that. It can, but shit goes wrong. So he's just doing years and years of like training in not a smart way. Leads to shit like that. So he said stretching, like helped him out. But once again, going to the mental part, it's awesome because he's showing like he was like a fat, out of shape dude. Got to this point where he was like running 100-mile races, ultra marathons, and just... I like that message, but people seem to think it's like just go as hard as you can until you break yourself.
Yeah, I mean, anyone will misinterpret that.
Very true, very true. But dude, the older you get, man, that shit can be really. We were talking about this a little bit last time.
Getting hurt when you're older.
You break a limb or you tear your ACL at like playing a pickup game of basketball because you got to go hard at 30. Oh, dude,
basketball gets me every time,
dude. I mean, I'm so bad at basketball, so I've never had that.
Oh, it's tough.
Yeah. Tennis, but I don't play like I used to. So, anyway, what were you fucking talking?
What were you going to open with?
Oh, fuck. Dude, I don't know.
Who cares?
It's all right, dude. So, what's been going on in the past 4 days? I imagine nothing much has changed.
Dude, yeah.
Let's see, in this last week... You know what I'm starting to do, this is the first day I haven't had any. I decided I'm going to try. I'm not drinking already. It's been months since getting drunk, I should say. But I'm going to try to do no coffee. It's another thing.
You're a big coffee guy.
Dude, I drink so much.
Last time I talked to you, had 10 cups in 20 minutes or something.
That was an accident, though. I mean, but yeah.
Was that the moment when you're like, I can't do it anymore?
I've had a lot of moments like that in the past where I go too hard with caffeine. It's such a, you look at any drug, right? And they always have similar trajectories of like how people use them. Yeah. Very, very rarely are people good at using a drug.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's the month begins. I'm drinking 1 cup on Monday, turns into 2 cups on Tuesday. By the end of the week, I'm drinking literally 5 cups of coffee. And then I'll be like, oh God, I gotta stop drinking coffee. And then I reset. And then I do the same thing over and over and over. And that one where I had like 10 cups definitely shines a light on kind of how much of a drug caffeine is, to the point where you can be like fucked up on it. Like, oh yeah. God damn. And then, there's so much medical work out there medical studies that show, like, when you have caffeine in your system, it interrupts your REM sleep. Like, it affects it. And caffeine has a half-life of 6 hours. So if you have a cup in the morning, it's still in your system when you're going to bed. And then if you're drinking more than 1 cup, you're like, your sleep's always fucked up. Like, you haven't experienced your true, natural, restful state as long as you're having a cup every single day. Which most of the country is doing that. Right. Consuming caffeine in some form.
I feel like most people have multiple cups. Maybe I'm lucky, but like if I have more than a cup, I'm zonked out of my mind. Yeah. I can't do it, which I'm grateful for.
They've identified 2 gene types that have 2 different enzymes. One are just slow digesters for caffeine, one are fast. So like my brother can drink like 5 cups of coffee and go to bed. Yeah, like some people's bodies will like zip through it, and so it just doesn't affect them. I'm maybe a little slower than you, but like I'll have a cup or 2 and be like, whoa, like it feels like it's doing something, like euphoric almost half the time.
I feel it immediately.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna try to go without and see what it feels like. And I've mentioned this before, but like as I've gotten older, my anxiety's just gone up, like naturally.
Really?
Yeah, and the only thing I can see that's linear is like I've been consuming caffeine since I was like 14 in the form of like energy drinks first, like nonstop. Oh, yeah. So many, man. And then I have never stopped. I've always drank caffeine.
There's no way it's good for anxiety.
No, I mean it's documented as being terrible for anxiety. Yeah. Dude, what it does chemically to your body is just blast your body with cortisol. So
stress. Yeah. So there's a book called Why We Sleep.
Yeah.
Have you heard of it?
I have not.
It talks about like what it does. You go first though.
Okay. I was gonna say, because chemically, we have all these neurotransmitters in our brain: serotonin, dopamine, adenosine, epinephrine, norepinephrine, tons of them, right?
Shit, dude.
Yeah, they're always in there, and I feel like the more
good. It was good recall.
Oh hell yeah, dude! Psychology degree, baby. Neuropharmacology.
Damn.
But so coffee, when you drink, most people think that coffee gives you dopamine, but it does it indirectly. So when you drink coffee, all it's doing is it's blocking your adenosine receptors, which are just the receptors that make you.
What I was going to say.
They just make you tired, right? So, and the more you consume coffee, the more receptors your brain grows. So then when you just stop, your brain's just like rapidly taking in adenosine more often. And then if you stop for a long time, the receptors will go back to the normal levels. So that's why you feel extremely tired and you have withdrawal and you have headaches if you just stop caffeine. You're a habitual user. But so you mix that with the cortisol thing. So then your adrenal, like your adrenals are always getting fatigued because you're just spraying cortisol. You're blocking all these adenosine things, and then dopamine indirectly flourishes because there's so much of this other receptor that dopamine just kind of has free reign. Okay. And it does. So it's not, I don't know. For me, it feels like it's not doing any more good anymore. It feels like it's starting to hurt me more than it's helping.
Sure.
Instead of getting like a little jolt and having like energy for 30 minutes. Yeah. Now you go.
So the way the book describes it is basically the same thing, but they adenosine or whatever. Yeah. They describe that as like a chemical that builds up, and when it gets to a certain level, that's what makes you tired. It's like that plus your circadian rhythm is what makes you fall asleep, and coffee just like puts off the adenosine, but it keeps building. Yeah. So it just blocks when it like actually comes into your brain to make you fall asleep.
Yeah. So it's those receptors are blocked. Similar to like, so there's receptor agonists and antagonists. So like LSD is a serotonin agonist, meaning that it will fit into a receptor that's for serotonin. So then like a serotonin molecule couldn't fall into there. It just takes it and it causes it. So adenosine is being blocked. So that's what you're talking about. You have that like overflowing adenosine molecules floating around. Yeah. Then once you stop coffee, they just zoom into the receptors. And then it gets super tired. It's interesting. It's weird that like it would be interesting to see a before and after of human civilization with coffee. We probably got extremely productive because for most of human history, we were drinking alcohol because of water was so it was not potable. It was bacteria ridden, so people would just drink alcohol all the time. People were drunk for the majority of human history, dude, because water was just bad. You would die of cholera like all the time if you weren't drinking booze. Yeah,
I've always wondered that. Like, if I eat a questionable piece of food, should I just rip a shot so it kills all the bacteria in my stomach?
I wish I had the answer for that.
All right,
because I've thought of that as well. Where I'm like, could I just kill it? But it depends on also if like.
But that sounds like what you just described, though. Like you're drinking questionable water, so you cut it with some alcohol.
Yeah, I just don't know. Like when stuff is in your digestive tract, if you ate something shitty, what you're saying just like in right away in combination.
Yeah,
right? Just slam it.
Yeah,
could. Once again, have no fucking clue. All
right,
might be worth a Google later. So yeah, long story short, gonna try to be off coffee for a while and see if that does anything. I mean, the stuff I read, every time I do something, I'll read internet, just people talking about their experience, and everyone's like, dude, it's like, there's always the extreme people who say you don't realize the life that you could be living because it's another interesting thing. Not to talk on this for too long, but you know who Michael Pollan is?
No.
He's he's a renowned journalist who's written a bunch of books, but he's more known for being open and experiencing all kinds of drugs. And he like worked for the New York Times, and he's like, this guy, his writing is phenomenal. But he made this book, and I'm forgetting the name, but literally just writing about his experiences with like mescaline, ecstasy, every drug you could ever imagine, opiates, everything, and just like journals his experience. Awesome book. I gotta remember the name. But in that book, he said of all the drugs, caffeine was the most psychedelic, which sounds weird. He said
that sounds like a pretentious take.
It kind of does, right? But this is also the guy who's doing like ayahuasca and mescaline and
what does
DMT.
What does he mean by
he stopped it he didn't do any caffeine for 2 months, and the story he tells is that after 2 months he went to a outside cafe with his wife, and they had some coffee at a table. You don't need that information, obviously. They're at a fucking table.
I was confused.
What were they sitting at? And he said upon sipping it became, he said, like instant euphoria. Like he hadn't experienced with any of the other, like he had just done ecstasy at these like things that are supposed to give you euphoria, and felt like just a level of heightened awareness that didn't come with anything else. And then soon after that, there was a garbage truck across the street, like loading garbage in, and just the sound, like it agitated him to a level that was like uncomfortable. And the most interesting thing is, so he goes home, right? And he said he starts to do some work, and he planned on going to a nursery later, like for plants. I think that's what it's called, right? Like a plant nursery.
What? Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think that's what they call it, right? Nursery?
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna go with it because it sounds like a baby thing, which it is also that too. But anyway, he planned to go to this thing later, and he noticed that his brain, there's a bunch of nurseries around him. He got to one, and he noticed that he picked that one because there's an espresso place there. So like within having a cup,
so you realized he's subconsciously.
Yeah, your brain, like the addiction works on that level where you're like, you start planning out your steps to get the next hit of that thing. Unlike any other drugs you've tried. Like he noticed it was like subconsciously programming his day. And he's like, whoa, this is so strange.
I believe that guy could get to that level of where he could realize how much it was affecting him.
Trust me, I highly encourage you to go like, I'll find the book and I'll send a link to you, or just like watch some interviews with him. He's super knowledgeable and really like similar to like that interview with Harry Mack. Yeah. There's like a level of genuine feel from him when he's talking about the thing.
Love Harry Mack,
dude. Amazing.
If we ever get guests on this podcast,
please. Guy is, dude. Like when you see a human like that, I'm like, dude, we are so cool as a species. Yeah. Like that makes me so proud to be a person and be like, that's one of us? That guy? Dude, he's so cool.
He's so cool.
So you watch the whole thing, so you know that he does all of his concerts just fucking freestyle.
Insane.
That is what?
Dude. You want to finish your point about the other guy first?
It was just that he's it's one of those guys that
coffee's really fucking addictive.
Really addictive, and he is one of the guys that there's no bullshit there. He's been doing this for so long, been experimenting with these things and meeting with all these experts around the world, like researchers in the field, not just like fucking random people that like. And he's gone and spent entire months with tribes like to get their. A lot of tribes have these like becoming of a man or an adult kind of ceremonies that involve some kind of psychedelic drug, and he's partaked all over the like. He's like 60 or 65. He's an older guy.
Damn.
Yeah, dude.
Is he just fine? Like, is he?
Yeah, dude, he's brilliant too. Wow. When he talks, man, he's so articulate about everything that like. I've never heard someone talk about a trip or a drug experience in the way that he does, and then, whoa, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So anyway. What were you going to say about Harry Mack?
I feel like anyone can just watch Harry Mack and be like, this guy is unbelievable. But dude, the way that he can... Dude, I saw him... It's crazy you brought this up, because I saw that guy like 7 years ago.
Okay.
Just a Facebook video. It was like, man effortlessly freestyles on a beach. And there's a crowd of people around him, and he's like... picking like the patterns on people's shirts out and putting them in his raps. And so like that was already insane. But this latest podcast, he was articulating deeply on like very things I would have a hard time talking about not in a freestyle.
Right. At a slow pace.
Yeah. He was just effortlessly freestyling profound thoughts.
Yeah.
Prompted, like he got a prompt and elaborate, just unbelievable,
dude. It is, if anything's a testament to that, you can train your brain to be a certain way. That like does that. When I saw that, I immediately was like, dude, because he said he's been doing this since he was like 12.
Yeah, that made me feel better as a person, because I was like, how could he's just another level of that being?
Literally,
how does your brain work that fast,
dude? It. Going to the stand-up thing, like it's at a certain point you just understand a level of complexity, and there's different levels obviously, but like that him is the most elite version of the rap game. Like I have never seen a rapper. Little Dicky, maybe I've seen some of his, like he can freestyle some nut stuff, but the Harry Mack stuff where people, he just like walks into a room, grabs a bunch of prompts from people and just goes. And it's not like, I feel like a lot of freestyles are not connecting things, they're just talking about the stuff, and he'll like connect everything in a way that like it'd be a track I would listen to. That's not a freestyle.
No, he just casually spit out some unbelievable verses.
Yeah, dude.
Like
it was nuts.
Fuck. I mean, there's a lot of rappers that just write awesome raps, and that's amazing in itself.
Right. Yeah.
But to just do it on the fly like that is just so unbelievable.
It's insanity, man. And I hope there's more people that
I'm glad he made it. Because when I saw that guy a while ago, I was like, insane. But he wasn't anything. He was just making videos.
Yeah. And I feel like that's a level of greatness that it can't not become big. You know, exactly. Like that dude.
Well, and he's smart and innovative with it, like doing the Omegle chats.
Yeah, dude. It's any. I mean, he's a professional drummer, pianist. Like he's so musically. I don't even want to say gifted, trained. He's just trained to the point of being so elite in that field that I've never seen someone in the rap world like that ever.
Dude, I just wonder, like, how many rhymes does he have floating around in his head?
Dude, his brain's
I think he can hear a word and he just has 7 things on deck he can just put in.
Dude, it's just association, man. Once again, it's like if you were to talk to a person who's a PhD in anything, they have that same level of connection of thought, but the freestyle version is like,
it's way cooler.
It's just speeding everything up, which you've like, how does it go that fast, man? It's so cool.
I was getting amped up watching it.
Dude, me too. All right. Should we go to some topics? Yeah. Because I got fucking gobs of them. Let's see.
Gobs, that's a good word.
Gobs. Oh, I have one off the top of my head though. Before I even open up the thing. All right. We said that maybe there would be a reoccurring theme of things that make you anxious or give you anxiety. Yeah. And do you remember that movie 128 Hours with James Franco getting his arm stuck in the rock?
It's 127, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's I've never seen it, but yes, I know about it.
So you know what it is, right?
Yeah,
what happened?
He saws his arm
True
off.
story. Yeah. The guy's like, I don't even remember, something, rock falls on him in like a crevice. But I just today, no prompt on this.
Oh, God.
Just like sent myself there in my mind of like, all right, put yourself in the situation. You're in nature by yourself.
I love this as just an unprompted thought.
Yeah. I
get random. Dude, sometimes I'll wake up and just have something like that in my head.
Dude, it's so weird. The brain just has all this junk. Crazy. And it's just like Harry Mack's head. It's just all this shit flowing around. But
basically Harry Mack.
Yeah. But so you're out in nature. You're alone, but you're like a seasoned nature guy. I guess I think he was like an experienced climber of some sort.
Okay.
But you're out there, no one's like out there, but you go into a place where no one's going to find you. And then you get your arms stuck. And then, the first hour you're probably like, oh, I can figure this out. And then, a couple more hours go by and you're like,
dude,
I think someone's going to find me.
I think like a minute in, I'd start freaking out. I don't know what happened. Yeah. What happened? Did a rock fall on his arm?
He was, I think so. Cause he was down in like, I've seen pictures of these things. They're like not dunes, but it's like desert area. And then you like go in these big cracks in the ground and it's like, it's like all these weird sand patterns, but a rock fell and his arm was just stuck in between a thing. But at some point in your head, say a day goes by, you're like, okay, no one's coming to find me. You have to it really in that moment shows how much of a coward you are. Because you either just die there or you cut off your arm. Oh, man. And dude, the balls it would take to slowly cut off your arm.
What did he have on him to cut his arm off?
I don't remember. I think he had to like smash a little bit with a rock first and then like tear. I don't think there was like an easy cut thing. Wow. Dude, that guy did that. he survived. Hey,
hey buddy.
We're podcasting.
You want to join the podcast?
No, you can just edit that out.
Okay. But that I don't know.
I think you have a lot of good thoughts and views.
I probably would. You guys figure out your flow, and then once you guys post 10 episodes, I'll guest after 10.
Oh,
10 episodes. We'll be fucking canceled by then. All right. But I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could cut off my own arm. I might die the coward's death. I also don't know what that state of adrenaline is like. When you're like, your body's like, listen, if you don't cut off your arm, you will die. But dude, then the fear of like slowly.
You could even argue the opposite would be the cowardly move. If you're so scared of dying that you'll do anything to not die.
I don't know. I don't know if I see what you're getting at.
I feel like dying probably scared him so much that he cut his own arm off.
Yeah, but then it's like it scared you not enough to cut your arm. Like you could be the guy that here's how I see it.
All right.
There's the dying fear, which is the big fear of everyone, right?
Yeah,
the top one.
Yeah.
But then there's things like cutting off your arm, which are a lower fear. So you have, knowing that this is the end all be all fear up there, you have said, I'm too scared to cut off my own arm. So it's like you're scared of a lesser thing,
right,
and being like, oh, I can't do it, even though the ultimate, the outcome is you just fucking die because you don't have the balls to do it.
I would feel cowardly if I just gave up.
Yeah, but then it's like,
it's coming from a guy who's never had to cut his own arm off.
Yeah, dude, I can't even. That would be horrific.
How did he live? How did he not bleed out?
I don't know. He got out of wherever he was and got to a place where people found him. Or he found people. James Franco.
James Franco did that.
Fuck.
That's unbelievable. I feel like he must have known a little bit about like how to do it. I mean, he must have how do you tie it off?
I don't know. Well, I think at some point his arm was like crushed in a rock.
Yeah.
So like it probably was just losing.
Died anyway.
Yeah. I mean, he had to cut the part that was alive though.
Yeah.
Because it's like probably out.
Right.
But dude, that makes me think of, this is another horrendous thought. But in his situation, he was stuck standing, and like there's torture methods, that go. But I mean, they probably still do it in some dark places in the world, but where they put you in boxes that you can't sit, so you have to like stand the entire time, and you just stand. But it's like a
tight, tall box,
like a 2 foot wide lawn box that they just put you in.
I hate that.
And it's short, so you're like slightly hunched, and they just leave you there. Dude, they would do like medieval time stuff. They'd throw people in those dungeons and just leave them like that until they die.
What was going on? Everyone cites the medieval times as torture time. Why were so many people getting tortured?
I don't know. That's a good question, because that's where it all, like, you see the most extreme stuff, like filleting men, and like, I said that wrong, flaying men, not filleting men.
I think it's kind of the same, right?
It's very similar, but they're spelled, I guess fillet would be the piece of the thing. Flaying would be the act of the thing.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, dude.
Entomology.
But I feel like we hear mostly about torture things from medieval times. I don't know why.
Yeah, like what the heck was going on?
Maybe just monarchies were cooler, but that's hard to believe. That's hard. Like people were probably doing bad shit everywhere. Like all the time. I mean, there's like it's funny because there's certain groups of people over the course of history. I'm not a historian, so this, these are not all, let's just say, fact check me, audience, and
I might.
Oh, I said your name. Fuck. Don't ever say that. I'm gonna bleep that out.
Call me Derek.
Derek. We're like, there's always points in time where there's like an average society that's like, there's always a crazy society somewhere. Like a lot of people like the Spartans are an example that everyone knows of now, or like most people in that time looked at them, they were like savage people. People like, they're fucking nuts.
They weren't awesome.
Yeah, dude, we portrayed them as such this image of like, but like most of the world at that time was like, those people are essentially cavemen.
Relax, dude.
Yeah, dude, chill out. But like another example of that is like the Comanches, the Native Americans here when we came, were like a lot of the tribes would eventually, other tribes tricked us into thinking that the Comanches were attacking someone so that they could get American forces to just obliterate the Comanches, because they would just go around raping and killing all these other Native American tribes. They're just like, they're like the Viking equivalent of the Native Americans. And like every group of people to ever exist always had that evil crew of them.
Wow.
It's weird too, because there's always like Native Americans, I feel like a lot of people talk about in this light of like, they're all kind and they love nature and they're peaceful, and they were equally as evil as every human to ever exist and do horrific things. Yeah, they were just.
I've seen The Revenant, dude. Yeah, they're vicious,
dude. What a crazy world to be in. And like, dude, fucking. So like, this is the plains land that we live in, right? Wisconsin, Illinois. In my head, growing up, and when they would teach history, it was like, oh, it was just big open fields, and it's just kind of a non-dangerous climate. But it was just
the Great Plains.
They were horrific. Like they never ended, and then there'd just be like tribes of Native Americans. There's nowhere to hide. You would like start to make your trek across them and just get destroyed.
Take an arrow to the face.
Yeah, dude. Fucking. And a lot of the times they would just follow you until you just perished by natural cause. Like they'd stay. You would see them from a distance, just like kind of stalk you, like predator and prey.
Oh God.
Yeah, man. We live in a very blessed time where like that sounds fake. Like all of that sounds like that can't be real, but it is.
Dude, I don't even have to move ever in a day if I don't want to.
Yeah.
Dude, I was thinking about this the other day.
Yeah.
Kind of shifting topics here, but like,
no, dude, take it.
I could literally just stay in my room.
Yeah.
For the rest of my life, basically.
Yeah. You could literally get any kind of food you want delivered. Everything's paid for. You have a phone, so you can communicate with anyone. You have a computer, a camera. You can communicate with anyone via those means. Like, you could literally stay in your room
unless
and never leave.
Unless like war happens, we get attacked or something.
If there's that would be a factor that would change that.
And gotcha, dude.
Fuck.
But like you could just sit at your computer and not change as a person for 40 years.
Yeah, and then you come out the other side as a 60-year-old being like,
but like the same person. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like mentally. Like, you probably degrade a little bit.
Yeah, dude. I mean, fucking, well, like in the prison system, solitary confinement is known as the most horrific punishment. Just being alone.
I do a lot of that every day.
Dude, me too, man. I'm literally here alone. And then once moves out, I'll be truly alone in my fucking apartment.
Oh, God.
We gotta start hanging out more before we kill ourselves.
People will tune in. Are they dead yet?
Yeah. Are they still alive? Have
God.
they ended it all? But no, I mean, I don't know about you, but I can feel it. Like, the more time I spend alone, the more time I feel like...
Dude, it wears me down.
Yeah, and my social ability just plummets.
Also, are you, would you say you're an introvert or an extrovert?
Introvert, extremely.
Okay. I would say that about myself, too.
Yeah. Like, like, I'm outgoing, typically, in public, but, like, I need to recharge alone.
But, so it's wild, even the most introverted people, you need other people. You need to connect with people.
Absolutely. Yeah. Which we are social beings.
Yeah.
Like, we have to have something with other people. So it's weird when we live in this world of luxury where we can just not, which I don't think there's ever been a time where you could just, I guess you could, but it would usually be in extreme measures historically, you know, but now it's like, I can have every one of my needs and probably wants met and just sit here and never talk to anyone or see anyone. It's weird. We're gonna see.
Dude, I think my eyesight's changing too. I don't look at things far away from me ever, and apparently that's like how you relax your eyes.
Yeah.
Most of the day, furthest thing I see is the opposite wall, where I'm looking at a screen. It's just I can feel it. I can feel it changing.
Dude, there's probably some truth to that. I mean, I feel like we're doing a weird experiment of a bunch of things in, like, us being exposed to screens all the time, all of these different, like, what's the word for it? Like, hyper excitatory things on the computer, typically, when you're seeing all these colors and buttons and things and code and doing this all the time.
Hits.
What?
Just dopamine hits left and
yeah,
right.
just all the time. So you're just draining or making your brain so dull or tolerant to those things. And then and then what we're just talking about, you have the loneliness on top of it. It's a strange, dude. It's an experiment that's going to produce some really weird results at the end. We're going to have like generations of people that are just like, just so socially awkward or emotionally not developed.
Yeah.
But like, we're older, but there's kids that are going through this now.
Dude, thank God. I am so happy I missed, like, Twitter was fun. It was like a fun new thing when I was in high school.
Yeah, it's become...
and Instagram was barely a thing. I'm so glad I missed all that.
Yeah. Like, MySpace was the one was the only one I ever really got into.
Yeah.
It was like MySpace, we like had our top friends on there. You could play music on the page. And then Facebook at that time was like for college kids. And I was like, okay, I'm not doing that. And then it never got to a thing where I'm like posting all the time or I'm scrolling through Facebook. Like, it never stuck.
It literally forms you.
Yeah.
It forms your personality.
It changed. You're wired to it. I mean, talk about dopamine. You're like literally programming your brain to just want those likes and want those images and the colors like nonstop. It's fucked, man.
We're fucked.
It's probably going to be I mean, there's probably plenty of scientists and stuff who've said this by now, but it's going to be the new like cigarettes. Like 10 or 20 years will pass. Like, whoa, we did that? We gave that to kids?
Yeah.
And then
gives us cancer.
Yeah, it's going to do something. I mean, we see like these huge spikes in autism or like just mood disorders in children or anxiety rates and depression.
Anxiety through the roof. I feel like that's already being realized.
Yeah, that and depression are extremely high in youth. And they've made a causal relationship between mostly, I mean, it unfortunately affects women more, young girls, because it's the whole comparison thing. They see unrealistic images of their friends compared to the reality of themselves. And yeah. Which brings me to the next topic, which I just thought of.
Wow, you planned this whole thing out.
Yeah, no, that comparing yourself thing made me think of so I've been reading Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, which I think we talked about. I started reading it, and I'm like halfway through it. And it's a cool book, and it's, I don't know if you've ever read.
I haven't. I cracked it open.
Okay.
I haven't read the whole thing.
But have you ever read a book in like philosopher style? Like
it's
how
like
they
it's
write?
like biblical language. It's like thou.
It's strange. Like the first chapter, which I think they just call they call them books. So like book 1, it's like 50 examples of people that have all these qualities that are like what they would consider stoicism, I guess, or stoic. Okay. And like John, who did the thing, but he's very seldom to himself, but he makes sure everyone's cared for. And it's just like, we'll do case by case by case. And it's like, after a while, it's like, yeah, it's fine. Like, it just gets kind of weird. But the funny thing, which you can see it just dates the whole thing, is not anytime, but a lot of the times when they're like, here's the thing you should do. If you don't do this, you're a woman.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude. Like, all the time. It'll be like, yeah, you should really not think about what others think about you. Otherwise, it'd be really womanly of you. Huh. It's riddled with that. But okay. Subtract the word woman out and just put like coward or something.
That sounds worse.
True. But
no, I hear you.
You also have to think of like, in that time.
It's the time. Yeah.
Men are usually like, it's very feminine, masculine. There's like men going to war, women staying home. Like women were thought of as like literally items, objects. Like it's fucked up. Don't get me wrong, audience that's listening. It's terrible. But it's in that world, they were seen as that. So when they're making those comparisons, it's the modern day of saying like, you're being a coward.
That's brutal.
It is. It has a lot of good points though. Not to the woman thing, but
trying to get you out of this hole here.
Yeah, I just keep taking it. I want to get down there to the bottom. Fuck no, but it is good. The common thing I see in the whole book is just stop thinking about what other people think about you. That is the biggest. Like, it'll take you down. Really, if you just
comparing yourself,
just focus on yourself. Find something to get better at. It's like things of like,
I love that shit.
Yeah, it's self, and it's good. It's written well. It's just self-improve. Well, not it is self-improvement, but it's that one. I mean, granted, I'm like 100 pages and it's like 200 something, but there could be other themes. But it seems like that is the one. Don't think about what other people think about you. It's only going to hurt you.
Is that a book? Because I've read a little bit of it, and it's just like a bunch of paragraphs of like ideas.
Yes. Some longer than others.
Do you just churn through those, or do you like read a little blurb and then just kind of sit with it?
I'll read through, and then when I find one, I'll write notes on my phone.
Okay.
To help. Otherwise, I'll just not remember stuff.
Yeah.
So I really want to get into the practicality because they're talking about all the themes, and I feel like towards the end they might get into like what you should be doing kind of thing. Like the idea of not, thinking what others think of you is great, but what is the practice of doing that? Because it's way easier said than done, dude. I could be like, oh yeah, I'm not going to
How do you implement it in your daily
how the fuck,
life?
Which I don't know if they're going to talk about that, but I feel like there's going to be something. I don't know if
Does it give you any context, like historical context around his life? Or is it literally just his journal, like his thoughts?
I mean, there's tons of historical context in terms of like he'll tell stories about things he's experienced, his father's upbringing. I mean, it seemed like the guy had an awesome life. The way he talks about it, he's like, I've been blessed by everyone who's ever touched me, kind of like my father, my teachers, my brothers, my sisters, my mother. He's coming from a place, it sounds like enlightenment. Like he's had every need he has met, and he's found that being stoic or it's just like, it seems like this state of absolute calm in terms of emotion. Like things can happen to you. Sure. It sounds almost like crossover with Buddhism and stuff like that, where stuff can happen and you look at it from an objective view as opposed to as an emotional view, which will help you in life. I mean, all of this, all the meditation stuff that goes on is like all based around that, of like learning to let things pass through you and not like push against them when they happen kind of idea. I don't know if you've ever practiced like mindfulness, or what is the other one? Transcendental meditation's a little different, but they're all the same kind of context.
Think about stuff.
Yeah, well, that's good. There's something going on there. It's no Harry Mack, but I'll take it. But
that's an interesting, because I've heard that, I mean, from this and other sources, like the way to be happy is to be very even keeled and like not spiking too far in either direction.
Yeah.
But doesn't that kind of feel like you just sort of get numb to things?
I think it's just not, when the extremes happen, because they will happen.
Yeah.
You kind of dull the spikes.
Okay.
Because the highs and the valleys, the lows of the valleys, just kind of, they tend to disrupt. So say you have that baseline, you can experience a high, and if you don't have that baseline, you just shoot right back down low. I think that's the idea of like, not numbing super awesome stuff or
either way.
Yeah, either way, just not numbing it, but making it so when it happens, you can come back. Your baseline is strong enough to where you can go back to that thing and be okay.
Gotcha.
Because everyone's going to experience something that's going to cause, I would hope, extreme happiness. Unfortunately, a lot extreme sadness at some point. And some people it breaks, dude. There's some situations where people, it changes them for the worst in the moment or for the better through extreme positive impact. And some people will say psychedelics will do that to them. So, and there's more and more data coming out.
I don't need to read the book. I'll just take some mushrooms.
I'm telling you. I mean, the more science we do in that world where they like give terminal cancer patients, so they give them like 2 grams of psychedelic mushrooms and it just changes their entire thing, like their outlook on the whole situation. They like accept death. They're okay. They become happy. It's nuts, dude. I hate to give credit to an external thing because I'm a full believer in like the internal. It's like we have to work this, but those are tools that mankind has not. I mean, we've been using them forever, but we need to like use them, dude. We need to get everyone behind.
They're just here. They grow for us,
dude. Yeah, they're so weird. I'm pretty sure they're the only thing that can live in a vacuum too. Not like a clean vacuum, like a vacuum of space. Yeah. So there's theory that they just showed up on a meteor one day, like way, way, way long ago. They just fucking landed, and then they just like inhabited everything. It's fucking crazy. Have you ever heard the stoned ape theory?
Maybe.
Where like our ability, us, or I should say not us.
This sounds like a Joe Rogan take. Is this a Joe Rogan take?
He's probably mentioned it.
Okay.
It's an actual theory by scientists that I think either like Carl Sagan or some kind of physicist or evolutionary person. But the theory is that so when you take psychedelics, you can experience this stuff called synesthesia, which is like you can feel colors or you can hear colors, you know, where like your senses kind of blend. And the theory is that primates, some chimp somewhere, some gorilla somewhere, ate some mushrooms by accident because they just grow on shit, the psychedelic ones most of the time, and had a blending of sensation that created language because they started making associations with sounds and thought. And up until then, they were split. So from that synesthesia, it prompted that. And then it was kind of like a feedback loop of this thing makes me think this way and allows me to start to have complex thoughts. And, you know, we're talking about hundreds or thousands of years of evolution. But that's one of the theories, which, dude, when you do those, you can see how that could be possible.
Wild.
As a person, not as well, we are primates, but, you know, as a fully formed human, you eat those.
You feel like it's literally opened new pathways in your brain.
Yeah, dude. And the science what we're doing now is showing that, where they take people with like PTSD and, you know, typically they'll put you in cognitive behavioral therapy for a long time and like work through the stuff. And what they found when they give psychedelic mushrooms to people, it puts your brain in a state that makes it more malleable.
Okay.
So like you can have a bigger impact in a shorter amount of time, for better or worse. You know, I could traumatize you on mushrooms and you would like have PTSD from that experience. But if we do good things during that time, you can beat things in a much smaller window. So anyway, it's just science, bro. It's just simple stuff that's going on in the universe. All right, let's actually get to a topic.
Love it.
All right, let me see this fucking crazy list because it grew overnight. Gun laws.
God, great.
I have on here. It just says gun laws.
Tell me about gun laws.
Well, I feel like it's a moving target, no pun intended, that it's always...
That was totally intended.
Yeah, no shit. It's strange because we're America, you know. we're America, and we're all about our Second Amendment rights. But when those laws were made, they had, like, you know, someone has a joke out there, I forget who it is. One comedian's like, when we made those, it takes you 2 minutes to, like, load a musket, put the gunpowder in. By the time, and the joke is, by the time you're, like, done loading it, you're like, oh, I don't want to shoot this guy, because it's like that emotion is so fleeting when you're like, I want to shoot this person. But now we have guns that, like, are automatic, that you could unload a clip in less than, like, 10 seconds. Be like, oh fuck, I just killed a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And then it's like, there's the side of, if the government comes after us, we want to protect ourselves, which I get that side too, because the government does some terrible shit.
Yeah.
But then you have school shootings.
Dude, if the government comes after us, we're fucked.
I know
they have drones.
I know. It would be very quick.
If the government comes after you, you're not even going to know. Your house would just blow up.
Yeah. I get that there's more of us to fight them. But in terms of, like, we would have to have some collective consciousness event where we can all connect and organize, which would never, ever happen.
Could never do that.
No. So I lean more on the side that if it did come down to that, to your point, government would just, like, obliterate the common people. And then once, like, let's say 100,000 people are killed by the government, everyone would just fall in line. Unfortunately, it'd be like, yeah, dude, we're not going to fuck with the government, dude. They just killed they just literally blew, like, New York up with a nuke. No thanks, dude. But but then I guess today it always gets to the point of school shootings.
Yeah.
Like, we have,
it's a uniquely American problem.
And for the past, like, 2 or 3 years or something like that, which is nuts. That when I was growing up, that was never. Why is that when we were growing up, that never happened? And their guns were still available?
Did we not hear? Well, I mean, we just talked about mental health with social media. I think our mental health collectively as a nation has gotten way worse.
That's insane. Yeah, I guess. I mean, that obviously that's the root cause, right? Like, it's not there's more guns now. But, like, Columbine was the one when we were growing up. And that was it. That was the one. And we were like, oh, school shootings. Can you imagine going to school? It's like every day the shooting, just hoping, man, I hope it's not our school today.
It's horrible.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
I feel like now, one of the more recent ones, didn't they look at the guy's history and he was watching all these fucked up YouTube videos?
Oh, it's like, the Buffalo guy?
I don't remember. But I feel like if you're sick mentally now, you can just go on the internet and feed it and make it grow.
Yeah.
Where that was not a thing in the past.
Yeah. Yeah, fuck, dude, it's so complex. But fuck, it's also like, I don't know what would happen if America was like, we're going to take all your guns away. I think there'd be some kind of extreme pushback. But
this is what everyone said. But everyone's like, no one needs the murder weapon, the semi-automatic.
Yeah.
Like, however many rounds. Like, and I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, dude, absolutely.
You should be able to have a gun for self-defense.
I think so.
In your home.
It's the one thing, because I'm all for this, like, free market idea in terms of how we run a country, but it's the one thing that's literally made to kill someone. There's not another product out there that the consumer can buy that is purely made to end someone's life.
Yeah.
Nothing. So it's like, is that the exception?
There's so many of them. There's so many guns.
Yeah, dude, we have, I think it's like 1.7 guns per person here.
Yeah, there's more guns than people.
That's so many. Dude.
Just fuck around and find
it's like 500 million guns. Where are these guns? Dude, what the fuck? That's so many guns.
It's not good. It's horrible.
It's fucking crazy.
It's like, how the hell do we control it now?
Right. And I've heard the argument too of bad
people will get guns anyway.
Yeah. But then like Australia banned automatic weapons in 1990 after they had one really bad school shooting or mass shooting, and to buy an AR-15 in the black market in Australia is like $30,000. So like a criminal,
it's free market. That's a win.
Well, that's black, right?
If the price gets through the roof,
right. And then I think Jim Jeffries has a joke about this where he's literally like, criminals. I mean, after they did that, no more mass shootings. One has not happened since then. But if you're a criminal and you have $30,000, you're not about to go buy a gun to do the thing. You know, like that amount of money. When someone usually has that, they're not about to go do a mass shooting or something. Like most people are trying to get the money. So if they had that money,
you're saying if you have that much money, you're the boss and you're doing bigger things than shooting up a school.
Exactly. So it's like that. It's a good experiment on what happens, but since we have so many guns here, it might not have that effect. Like the black market for guns here would probably not be super expensive. Maybe it'd go up a little bit, but I don't fucking know. There's a topic we're obviously not going to solve. But I like how it was the first topic I had for this podcast was just gun laws.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to go buy a gun after this podcast. Dude, you ever shot a gun?
Yes. You?
I shot a World War II gun at my great uncle's.
What was that like?
It's pretty cool. I mean, it feels. I was like 12, but he like held it with me, and we just shot shit in his backyard. He like lives on Lake Michigan, or he's dead now, 93. But
oh, nice.
Dude was ripped as shit too.
Yeah,
you know, fought in World War II. Fucking would go to the gym every day. Dude, side story about this guy, Uncle Tony. Rest in peace.
I love a good World War II story.
Well, this is not about World War II.
Tell me about his combat days.
He only told me he got shot, and he said it felt like getting hit by a bat. Like the impact, and then you're kind of in. But I learned about this workout thing called Nautilus through him, which is a thing that arrived in like probably the 50s or something. Where say you have a bicep curl machine, right? You can do like, say you do a set of bicep curls and then you hit a button and then the weight flips to be opposing. So then it'd be a tricep extension.
On every rep, do you do that?
No. So you could, but you'd probably not. Biceps are like, triceps bigger than biceps. So I don't want to get too technical. Yeah. But there's all these machines that are Nautilus brand that have that, which in the exercise physiology world, that is one of the best ways to work out. So after you do an exercise, the next one should be opposing, and you're always stronger in that lift.
Same workout, or
in the same workout.
Okay.
So like that's why they pair chest and back, or you do shoulders and back. So any kind of opposing direction.
Okay.
That muscle will be stronger in the lift afterwards. So if like say you're going into a bench and you're laying on there, if you do like a couple of quick like weird lat pull-up things, it's a good way before you go into the bench, so it'll make it stronger. Yeah, it's weird like motor neurons that like activate in different ways when you work your body that way. So anyway, those machines were cool, and I was like, fuck dude, I've never even seen one though, ever. He said he used to go to a gym that was only those until he died. He had like biceps that were bigger than mine, just like
at 93.
Yeah, dude, he was ripped.
That's what I want to be.
Dude, ripped old man, just an Italian dude, making minestrone every day and living on a lake, shooting MP40s at fucking squirrels. Sounds wild when you talk about it. All right, here's a concept. How do you feel about people that have a really...
Hate them.
Well, yeah, they're pretty fucking bad, except Harry Mack.
Love Harry Mack.
Harry Mack's so fucking cool. People having a strong opinion on things that they are not educated on. There's a lot of that.
Like gun laws?
Yeah, exactly, like gun laws. Like this whole podcast is just that.
Like the thing we just spoke at length about.
Do we just like break down the fourth wall of us being fucking idiots? Being like, oh wait, this is the whole podcast.
Dude, I had this thought last time.
Yeah?
You just... we were on some tangent, you just hit me with, what do you think about military spending? I'm like, God, jeez, dude, I don't know. I don't know if that's my wheelhouse, but
Well, that's the thing, dude. That's the fun part about this whole thing is that it's fun to just
disclaimer before every episode. We don't know shit.
No, dude. We're just two dudes. Fucking chilling. I think. All right.
I guess we haven't had like any super strong takes yet about
I've had about
stuff.
the government, which I need to chill on a little bit. But also, I feel like they're not perfect takes, but they're rooted in fact. I mean, at least of things that have happened. I was just gonna say, dude, before the internet, it was mostly just chilling in a basement talking nonsense. Not to say it should become reality, like fact, but it's so fun to just like you heard this fact from your fucking cousin about like Marilyn Manson getting his rib removed so he could suck his own dick, which just literally was not true. Yeah. But that thing just floated around. That fact for so long. Oh, yeah. It's like I loved that. It's like the human mind just like bullshitting about stuff, and it creates hilarious stuff if you just let it ride a little bit. Once again, we're not giving medical advice or like, we're not trying to teach you how to live your life. We're just here to have fun.
I feel like I acutely remember realizing when, like, how everyone fact checks everything. Yeah. Like, I had a very specific friend in college who he would get so mad because everything he would say stuff and we'd be like, is that true? Like, we would question him on it. Yeah. And it's reasonable. Like, that's annoying when someone does that to you. Yeah. When someone just questions something you say, like, that sucks. But that's the world we live in.
True. And I can see, to play devil's advocate, I've definitely had a friend that it's weird because maybe you've had this friend as well in a friend group growing up, but you just know they lie or exaggerate about a lot of stuff.
Oh, like a
ton of stuff.
People need to be checked.
It's either it gets to that point where I'm like, dude, bullshit, or I just start agreeing. Like, I'm just like, nice, dude. It's just people will do that. It's weird. I have adult friends now that do, and it's weird because there's a way to connect. Like the way, at least I've seen it with the one I'm talking about now, is like they'll say all these things as if like to impress me, so I'll still be friends. Like, we're already friends. You don't have to do that. We're here, man. Like, I don't care what's going on. Just tell me the truth. You don't gotta exaggerate. But yeah, I don't know. It's now we live in that age, like you're talking about, where I would just pull out your phone and be like, Ron.
Yeah, it's a fine line. Yeah, it sucks to feel like people don't believe you, or people don't like trust you. Yeah, dude, if people are just fact checking you all the time. But there's also the person who needs it.
I feel like,
I feel like now everyone kind of realizes that. But for me, it felt like in college we were kind of transitioning. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's just the time of my life, but where everyone starts fact checking everything.
Yeah, I feel like if we're being honest about it too, and we talked about this a little bit last time. I was telling you, like, sometimes we just read headlines. It was connecting to the fucking koala chlamydia bit, but it was most people are just reading headlines and at social gatherings just being like, headline, just say, and then you ask them. Once again, I've done this thing of like, read it, don't know anything about the article. I'm like, oh fuck. I feel like if most of these things people are learning, they're just using them as like social fodder to conversation, which I want conversation. Yeah. I'd rather that than us just like not talking about it.
You don't want to silence someone.
Exactly.
Make someone feel scared to talk.
Right. So I feel like in this fact-checking universe, it's easy to be like, that's wrong. But instead just like, be like, let's just keep talking about this. This is fucking wild. Right. Even if someone says something crazy, it's better to be like, oh yeah, tell me about it. Like, dude, I want to hear your extreme take on this thing, like gun laws. Yeah. But yeah, it's weird that you bring this up, because when I went home this past weekend, told you I went back to my parents, we went to the city. As we're driving on a congested Chicago highway, almost to Chicago, there's the L train that's going, and there was these springs that connect each train car to each other, like 3 sets on each side of it. And my dad was like, I wonder what those are for, because they have the big thing that's connecting them, like the giant metal piece in between, on the, like, not on the ground, but you'll walk over it as you're passing between cars if you're like switching cars. Okay. And he was like, why would you need the springs? Like, that's not, if the train crashes, those springs aren't going to hold it together. And then we were literally talking about it, and my mom was like, I'm just going to fucking Google it. I'm like, don't. I was like, let's just keep talking and see like where we get with it, because it's way more fun that way.
You're so right about that.
Yeah.
I had someone on some podcast said this, but they're like, I don't want to see the funny video you saw today. I want to hear you talk about the video. I want you to tell me about it. That's more fun.
That's the connection. Like, we're talking about being social and being human and connecting to each other. That is it.
Yeah.
Instead of us being like, here's what the robot says, here's the actual truth in the world. It's weird, but I'm trying to be more like that. Especially, I mean, when I go home and visit family, because everyone's just like, we can just find that out now. I'm like, dude, let's just goof around. Let's just be idiots for a while. And this fact doesn't matter if we know it or not, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to change our lives if we learn the Springs do something else on the train. Like, let's just hang out with each other, talk to each other, instead of you finding the fact and then just shutting it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you figure it out?
No, we never looked it up, dude.
That's beautiful, man.
Thanks, man. It kind of is. And then I talk about how it's my one moment where I cried.
About it.
Saw me in the back seat. Oh, it's so beautiful. But yeah, no, it's it was cool. But all right, we'll go to a topic that's not gun laws. Okay. Oh no, it was. Oh, we never circled back to this. So. The strong opinion on something you're not educated on, I think it differs kind of from what we're talking about, right? In terms of like talking about nonsense, that's not having a strong opinion on it.
The key word is strong.
Exactly. We're like people like
to be very opinionated about something you don't know that much about.
Right, which I feel like there's a lot of people like that. Like, think of. I'm trying to think of an example I've had in my life of someone who's like has a really strong opinion but really doesn't know. I can't think of one. I think like the working out world or the exercise world, there's a lot of that, of people being like,
this is the right way to eat.
Right way to eat, right way to take supplements, right way to do this movement, where they're like comparing just the most tiny of difference between like a lat pull down, if you pull it down to your chest or you pull it down to your neck. I'm like, dude, that's everyone's physiology is really different. So what you're feeling and what you're working out could be entirely different. And that amount of distance, not going to make a difference anyway. But they'll like be very gun-ho. Be like, if you don't do it this way, you're not going to get to the development you want. It's fucking crazy to hear.
Dude, I think we talked at some point about how people's beliefs can be like core pillars of who they are. Yeah. I feel like that's just having any strong opinion. It's often like
representative of that.
Deeper than just an opinion.
That's a good point, because I think that's probably. I mean, why would anyone feel strongly about anything if they didn't identify with it on a deeper level? You know, it's probably so close to who they are,
right?
And they're like, "This is me, the neck, not the chest."
Yeah, and if you.
I'm just thinking of a bodybuilder being like, "This is my spirit, the way to correctly do a lat pull down,
my temple." And if you call that guy out, he's going to be pissed.
Oh, well, yeah, because through his lens, you're attacking him. Yeah. You're not attacking the way to do the lat pull down.
So not like, no, dude, you're spreading disinformation.
Yeah. It's weird. I mean, at that level, it's not dangerous. But then you get the people who are like...
Hitler.
Yeah, let's talk about the strongest of opinions.
Yeah. That's dangerous.
Yes, dude. And it's a good experiment of brainwashing in terms of like, I mean, it happens not all the time to the Hitler level, but how just like finding a lot of people in their most weak of times and slowly planting seeds of being like, Germany's great. Germany's great.
Germany's we're getting away from the Hitler thing.
No. I'm leaning into the Hitler thing. But just like, none of those people in the beginning ever thought the outcome was going to get to we're exterminating people.
No,
like none of them. I mean, there's the photo of, maybe we talked about this last time. There's a photo of them in Madison Square Garden. They had a Nazi convention in like 1936 before they were known as like they were just a political party in Germany. No. But in New York at Madison Square Garden, they had like a 30,000 people attendance thing with like there's swastikas everywhere in the picture, but it was just like, oh yeah, political party. Yeah. So they had fooled already so many people, and then once again, it's just like inches that they move up, and then eventually everyone's already so deep in it that they identify with that thing as them. So like to go against,
now it's coming back to the idea.
That I truly believe that's what it is. Is like you get so deep. You see it in our political atmosphere where people get so entangled with ideas like
You're
that.
taking little steps up to the mountain.
And then it takes a lot of courage for you to go, I was wrong.
Yeah.
And in the Hitler case, you say you're wrong. It usually means like death. Like if you're
right.
a Nazi and you're like, this Nazi stuff is bullshit. It doesn't work out. You can't just go home.
Yeah.
They're not like, oh yeah, dude, take off your clothes. You just chill. Take off the Nazi stuff. Go home. You die. You just fucking shoot you in the street or throw you in the gas chambers.
Bill Burr has a bit basically saying just that. He's like, what? I just have to know what he was saying. Because there's no way he just came out and said it. Like, we're going to just exterminate people.
Well, you know, their original thing was they were going to send all of the Jews to Madagascar. That was the original plan. Yeah, they were just going to ship them all there. They weren't going to kill them.
Oh, that was their actual plan.
Yes. And then that was way too, like, such a hard thing to pull off to just ship, like, 6 million people to Madagascar that it was more economically... it was easier to just mass extermination. So... But now we've hit to a topic.
Where did we start?
I don't know. Strong opinions. This is all to say that strong opinions that you're not educated. I mean, that's not to keep talking about this, but those people had strong opinions about things they knew nothing about like Jews being rats and all the propaganda that the Nazis would spread. It's all obviously false information, but it's like propaganda that enough people really had strong opinions on, like the Jews are this, to go to that extreme. It's crazy.
It's insanity.
Dude, it fucking is. But yeah, I was thinking more strong opinions on like the bodybuilding level. But it's awesome to see the scale of it. I just, when it becomes dangerous, I don't know if I should be a person to be like, hey, don't do that. That's for me. Okay. That's the situation I always get to, where I see people saying stuff that's obviously wrong, or like kids are at least in the lifting world, like stuff about, like, a lot of people will say that they're all natural.
How often do you come across bodybuilders just preaching stuff?
All the time, dude. I mean like
in person?
No, just a bunch of like I'm also, I don't really post anything online, but it's always on the internet, or people will post pictures of like their progress working out. They're obviously on steroids, like a lot of them. There's you can only reach a certain
Liver King, dude. All
yeah,
natural.
That's a great example of that. Where like there's so many people kids consuming that content, being like, all I gotta do is eat raw meat, get sun in my face, and lift 6 times a week, and I'm gonna look like that. You can't attain that without steroids.
No.
Dude, I don't want to give Liver King any fucking... I don't want to even give his... When all that stuff came out, the amount of stuff he's on is insane. Like, it's fucking... Anyway.
Everyone knew it. Everyone knew it.
Dude, I don't know. There's people who believed he was a natural athlete.
Yeah.
Like, dude, what?
His skin looks fake. Everything about it looks fake.
There's so many telltale signs. Whenever people get really bulgy traps, the swelling and redness of the face because there's so much water retention, having 2% body fat, and being like ripped, where you can see like
also,
every
he
ab.
doesn't even look healthy.
No, dude, he looks terrible.
Yeah.
He's also eating raw meat all the time. I mean,
raw meat and steroids. He does both those things.
You subtract even this, like, if he was just eating raw meat, I'd still be like, what are you doing?
Right.
This is fucking crazy. But it's such a weird illusion to put up, to go, eating raw meat will get you this. That's his whole thing.
I know.
He's called the Liver King.
We're like, is the soul just the brain? And we're like, no, what if the brain's the puppet the whole time? And the soul's actually in the ass.
Okay, so if you had the option...
Oh, fuck.
So, when people, like, there's amputees, that we have, like, a whole market of prosthetics that are nearly functional arm or leg parts.
Sure. Is this going back to 127 hours?
I mean, it ties in, but I wasn't trying to do that.
All right.
We're starting to see the level of robotics that's going to be, like, enhancement. So you didn't even lose your arm, but you have the option to get turbo arms.
To cut it off and put a fake one on?
Yeah. Would you do it?
Fuck no.
Me neither. But it looks pretty cool. But like, all right, what if you could like...
I'd throw a jetpack on, fly around.
It's like graft it to your back. You just have a jetpack just attached to you. Or you're saying just like a separate jetpack?
I'd wear an Iron Man suit.
Oh, that'd be cool. If I could take it off.
I'm not going to cut my own limbs off.
Yeah. But like, what if you could run like 160 miles per hour if they gave you robotic legs, robo legs?
Who needs to do that?
That's true. But you like run home to visit your parents.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. You probably
fucking speed on the highway.
Swallow so many bugs.
Or like, oh yeah, probably get a robo mouth for that. Just become an entire robot. Or you could like bench fucking, you get robo pecs. You bench like a fucking
If you removed your arms to get robo arms so you could bench more, you suck. You're the worst person ever.
Well, you're talking to the worst person because I'm going to do it. I'm become full robot. I guess this is kind of on the horizon of that Neuralink stuff, which that dude, the robo arms and the leg stuff to me is like, okay, it's not, it's just part of me. Yeah. But like getting something in your brain, oh, you feel like you're just playing with fire.
You watch Black Mirror?
Yeah, dude. Fucking awesome shit.
A lot of that stuff going on.
Yeah, it's all sci-fi, like what could go wrong.
Yeah, but like a lot of brain implant stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, one of the best ones in my opinion is the one where you can just watch all your memories back.
That'd be awesome. That would be cool.
That'd be so cool. Except they demonstrate how fucked up it could be.
Yeah. It's just like we know so little about... Like, we still don't even know really what consciousness is until, like,
start shoving things in it.
Take hardware and just put it in the place where, like, most of our processes come from in terms of being a person. Like, it's just such a gamble, dude. They just put a chip in there, and now you can Google stuff from your eyes.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. But
I mean, I feel like in our lifetime, they certainly won't have it figured out.
Dude, they just...
Like they'll start doing trials.
I
think they're going to fuck up a lot of people.
They just finished doing it on the monkeys, and they're trying to get to human, which they also killed like thousands of monkeys. The chip just melted their fucking brains, and now they're trying to get human trials. I should say Tesla.
Can't
or
you just
it is.
see that and be like, no, let's not do this? If you melt like 1,000 monkey brains,
but like 2 survived, dude. And they could Google shit in their head.
2 barely made it. Dude, out of 1,000.
Could you imagine if you could play music in your head whenever you wanted from Spotify?
Dude, I don't know, dude. I don't know if I want that. I don't know if I want
It's just such a funny trade-off. You're like, this might kill you, but you can have Spotify hooked up to
just
your
put your headphones
experience.
in. Headphones are awesome now. Just Bluetooth headphones.
That's true.
I love my headphones.
Dude, AirPods had the right... That has become such a fashion thing. Like the
I think AirPods look stupid. Do you have them?
I do.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah. I mean, but I don't feel... Let's talk about strong opinions. Wow.
Fuck AirPods, dude.
Fuck. But they've become like a fashion trend thing. Like people wearing things with the AirPods. I'm like, whoa, this is so weird.
Dude, fashion can look like anything. I showed you the rubber boots last week.
The big red boots.
If it demonstrates that you have enough money to buy it, it'll look good. People will desire it.
Yeah.
I think the fucking tube that hangs out of your ear with AirPods, I think it looks stupid. Well, but it shows you have enough money to buy AirPods.
True.
Which is a status symbol.
So now I'm gonna rebuttal for the AirPods against your argument.
Guess what headphones I wear?
I don't know. Like a
weird question.
Samsung? I don't fucking know, dude. What's another brand of headphone?
There's still Apple, technically. I wear Beats, but they wrap around your ear.
Oh, okay. Do they have like little rubber plug things on the ends of them?
Yeah. I wear them because I don't know. I've never ran with AirPods in, but I feel like they would fall out of your ears.
Oh, no. They fucking stay in there so
Everyone
well.
says that.
Yeah.
Don't believe it.
Dude, I've ran 13 miles like for an entire summer. I stay in my ear.
How sweaty do you get?
Terribly sweaty. But they're fine.
There's no way you sweat as much as me.
Running 13 miles? I mean, if we ran the same amount, you might be sweatier. But are you saying just in general?
Just all the time.
Dude, you look fine. You're not sweaty.
I'm sweaty.
Dude, I'm probably sweaty too. Okay, not sweaty as that. Fuck. But,
what are we talking about? Oh, the insert. The brain insert.
Oh, Neuralink. Yeah, I mean, it's weird because we will hit a point, I think, where that thing will start being able to like enhance your brain efficiency. So then we'll have people that are just better. Which, what do you do then? And there's gonna be like civil rights movements around that.
That scares me too, because I like having smart people and dumb people in various subjects. I fully believe everyone is smarter than someone at something.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but I feel like something like that, it feels like everyone's just going to level out at a certain ceiling. And
I don't know,
just
because
be the same.
Think about what you just said. Having the smart and the dumb, it would probably just translate. Like, we'd all be heightened, but then there'd still be the smart and the dumb at the
in those various areas.
Yeah.
What if? Okay. I mean, we're getting super hypothetical. What if I just, if I could just throw something in and said, I want to be an awesome musician, and I have nothing.
Dude, that'd
be insane. That sounds too good to be true.
That'd be so cool.
That'd be sweet.
Like, dude.
But then all of a sudden, I guess the point I'm making, all of a sudden, nothing's impressive anymore.
I don't know. It definitely could go that way, for sure. I think that we're like, if we're wrapping consciousness around the intelligence, so it'd be like there's still the uniqueness that every person is, and the not ability maybe, but you could, like, you were talking about trying to learn the Interstellar thing on piano a while ago, right? So imagine if like you had your ideas and creativity, but with the musical ability, you would be able to make things
that unlocks a new door.
Exactly. And you could it would open up the world for everyone making
you just flip my opinion in 2 minutes.
Yeah, dude. That's what we're here to do. Because it sounds, in my opinion, my strong opinion on this, I think that sounds awesome. To have like everyone now has the ability to create stuff that they think is creative.
Yeah.
But it also could just be like we cap out. Everyone caps out. There's no smart or dumb, and then everything's just like monotone. Everything is the same. Everything's good, and at that point, there's no reference to bad. So then everything's just like, nah.
The thing that scares me is like being able to play an amazing song on a piano. Like that would just be something you bought instead of something you put the time in and earned.
Yeah. That I don't know what that'd feel like. That'd be a really weird feeling.
Yeah.
But like, all right, like we've talked about in doing stand-up, I can, as you walk through the bits and you can see yourself doing this like well, right? Like I can see myself doing the funny thing, and then when I go to do it, it's not going to be anything like in my head. Yeah. You know? So it'd be weird if like we close that gap. So now there's the thing in your head just happens. There's none of the bad, which is probably not
good. It's like you just don't have to work for anything.
You're just super fit, super smart, super talented.
I think people would just get depressed.
Or just fuck like rabbits everywhere and just make a super race. Yeah, no, I don't fucking know. It either way, if it does happen, like they start pumping these Neuralink things out, I'm not getting one anytime soon. I'm going to let the first 7 waves of people die from crazy brain shit, or who fucking knows. I also get freaked out about putting like anything artificial in my body and staying there.
Yeah.
Like having a piece of metal.
Do you have anything like a screw or anything from broken bone?
Don't you do, right?
I don't.
Oh, I thought you had like the hip stuff.
All natural.
All natural.
Super weird.
Hell yeah. But yeah, that shit fucking freaks me out. But anyway, that was like, we've only done like 2 topics, dude. We're fucking on fire. Dude, there's so much stuff I have written down. What do we even have right now?
Of content. I feel like I could talk for days on what we just talked about.
Yeah.
But let's move on.
Biscuits and gravy. How do you feel about it? You've had it, right?
Yeah.
Like the breakfast biscuits and gravy.
It's good. I have friends. I have one friend in particular who like that's every diner, every breakfast place they go to. They check it out. That's what they're there for, and they compare them. It's like their big thing. I'm not super hyped about it. I don't really ever order it.
Yeah, same. I had So probably similar to that friend you're talking about. I had a friend who thought that was the best thing, and talk about strong opinions, would be like, like it wasn't just that he loved it a lot. It was like, you need to also love this a lot.
Ooh.
And he was a big like...
Eat the gravy.
Eat the biscuits and gravy. He was always... Like, when we go to his house and as we've gotten older, like, he makes that for breakfast every time, being like, dude, like, my biscuits and gravy tomorrow. I'm like, yeah. Dude, like,
He's whipping up his own biscuits.
Yes. And it's just, I look at that meal and I'm like,
it's debauchery.
It's bread and goop. Literally on a fucking plate.
It looks disgusting.
It looks like diarrhea mixed with fucking a biscuit. And it tastes like I'm eating something at a concentration camp. Truly. It's like, God. Dude, it's truly, when I hear the word slop, I think of biscuits and gravy.
Yeah. Like lunch lady slop.
Yes,
just
dude.
Plop it on the tray.
And the fact that I know someone that was so passionate about that meal.
My biscuits.
Tomorrow.
Unbelievable.
There's been so many times.
Does anyone like his biscuits and gravy?
Yeah, dude, it's an average dish.
Yeah.
It's just something that's so surprising to me to be like, this is fucking... Dude, wait. Just wait until you have this slop, man. You're going to love this slop. It's going to be great slop. It's just salty, fatty goop.
I mean, it's just salt, fat makes everything good.
Right.
It's just
which
a
is
hack.
Most things.
Like,
but it's a weird... In soupy, gelatinous, nothing forms, when you're just like liquefying shit and being like, yeah, dude, you're gonna like it.
Gravy shouldn't be as big of a piece as it is in that dish in any meal. Like, if gravy is the number 2 thing, that's probably just too much gravy.
Gravy goes on stuff.
Gravy goes on stuff.
You don't just eat gravy.
Yeah.
Up until that person, gravy had always been on food. You don't just slurping gravy at the Thanksgiving table.
That's disgusting.
It's fucking, you're an animal. You get kicked out of my parents' house. Like, what are you, you fucking sloppy pig? Just kick you out. But I just needed. I thought about that because
that was a good pig impression.
Thanks, man. I do, bro.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, dude. I got all the animals locked down. All right.
Oh yeah.
But I need to bring that up because I saw...
It's average. It's so average.
I don't know who I saw recently, but I saw someone talking about how good biscuits and gravy was, and I was like, not the friend I'm talking about. And I was like, there's got to be some emotional connection. There's got to be like, I was growing up, my mom would make biscuits and gravy, because I truly don't understand why that is considered like a culinary masterpiece to some people. I probably sound like such a douche saying that. Like a really... Yeah, my palate's way more refined, but it's slop, dude. Get over it, you pigs. I'm sorry.
I kind of want some now, honestly. You're talking about it. Sounds pretty good.
Let's do it, dude. I don't know where it offers.
You know what?
Slop
maybe I'll say
plate.
that's like maybe a once a year meal for me.
I haven't had it since that friend in high school.
Yeah. I probably don't even have it once a year, but I wouldn't want to eat it much more than that.
Yeah. I'm done talking about it.
Sounds like you're over it, dude.
I'm super fucking over it. Okay. So this one's a twofer. There's 2 things.
Oh, good.
Say you get engaged.
Okay.
And you have your engagement ring, you give her the ring. The engagement doesn't go. Should you get the ring back, or does she get to keep the ring?
Ooh. She should give you the ring back.
Yeah. Apparently there's
it's literally, that's what it is. It's a symbol of your marriage.
There's people out there, which it might be the minority, but I've heard people take the stance of it's a gift, so I get to keep it. Which in my
That's
head,
psychotic behavior.
yes, I think that is truly psychotic, meaning that thing was purely a medium of like the bonding of 2 people, and that's no longer happening. And so, okay, so with that, in that realm of stuff.
All right, was that the first one?
Yeah, that's the first one.
Okay, sounds like we're on the same page.
Yes, which I would imagine most logical people are like, yeah, dude, you give it back. It's like, it's weird that you would have an engagement ring that someone gave you and then you never got married. Be very strange.
Well, it'd be even weirder to keep it. Yeah. But, like, I'm sure those people sell it right away, right?
I don't know. There's a lot of freaks out there, man. They might be wearing engagement rings.
There's people doing weirder shit than that.
That's very, very true. So, on that note, we now live in this era where diamonds are being made in labs that are chemically equivalent
synthetic ones
to the ones being mined by slave children in Africa. They made a whole movie on it. Blood Diamond.
Leo DiCaprio. It's a good movie.
Great movie. There's a stigma to this. To buying, because they're much cheaper, the lab ones, much, much, much cheaper than a slave diamond. And there's a stigma of buying that. Which is, can you, I'm trying to get inside the people's heads who are taking that stance.
I don't know anyone, I feel like I know a fair amount of people who are engaged. I don't know anyone who has that stance. But I believe it's out there.
But it's like, I know that it's, I'm saying I know, but I've literally heard people be like, yeah, no, it's like, because it's a cheaper alternative. But it's so, I'm just trying, because the point I'm trying to make. It
shows like you didn't pay for the real thing. So do you like.
It's just, I'm trying to get to the point of like, that thought of saying it's the cheaper alternative, I want the one that's found by a slave child. There's people who are thinking that, how is someone
I don't
going?
I don't think they think about the slave part, but I think that's an excellent rebuttal. If someone, is like, "Get me a real diamond,"
dude. Also,
are there any honest real diamonds?
Honest real diamonds? What do you mean?
Like not blood diamonds?
Oh, I don't think so. I could be. I don't know anything about the diamond world. I just know that the majority of them are like, in mines in Africa or South America or something like that. But I also, I mean, you think about that whole situation, how much of that's just been marketing from like the diamond industry of like, you need this thing in your wedding, and like how much we have just fallen for that fucking trap of being like, yeah, we need this rock. Which, granted, it's like the hardest rock ever, right?
It's so hard,
the hardest rock, and they use like diamond drills and shit to like mine stuff, so it does have a function, which is pretty tight. But I don't know.
Get synthetic diamonds.
Oh, dude, this was gonna be a bit I was thinking about. So when I was driving home, I saw a billboard for it was like a hospital, and it was just a picture of a woman like in the woman power stance with like one hand on their hip, kind of like, yeah, we did it.
Sassy stance.
Yeah, sassy stance. Yeah. Hell yeah. And it was just a quote that said, "I'm not a number." And we've all heard that, right? Like at a hospital system. If you've ever been in the hospital system, it's like you get treated kind of in a non-human way a lot of times, where they're poking and prodding. Okay. You know, billing is a huge issue. Insurance is an issue. It's always hell if you're going through a lot of procedures. And that phrase, "I'm not a number" or "I'm not a statistic" is common nowadays, right? Like, I'm a person. I matter. Yeah. But you subtract the context from that, like take out anyone having ever said that, it literally looks like a billboard of a person who's just fucking crazy going, "I'm not a number." Like, I just imagine the therapist working with a woman who's like, "I'm 7. I'm the number 7. She's like,
"We got to break her out of this.
You're not that. You're Julie. You're Julie." It's like, well, on Monday I was 5 + 2, and on Tuesday I was 4 + 3, and on Wednesday it might be like 21 divided by 3.
That's really empowering for that person to be like, "I'm not a number." That's beautiful.
Just a fucking crazy person.
Dude, I don't know. What was she wearing? Like, what?
Just standard clothes.
It's just, dude, I don't know if I would have gotten that.
Dude, I'm telling you, brain's weird.
But no, I'm saying I don't think I would have understood the billboard if I saw it. I think I would have had the same thought as you. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah. It was weird.
What was it advertising for?
Just, it's a hot...
Just sheerly the concept.
Yeah, of like this hospital will treat you like a person, not like a number.
So was there a hospital name?
Yeah, somewhere like small in the corner. But you couldn't. I didn't know what a hospital was. It was such small. It was like literally giant picture of her, giant picture of the quote, and I was like, what the fuck? This is fucking weird. But yeah, good stuff. All right. Oh, dude, I watched a fucked up horror movie.
Smile?
Yeah, did you see it?
No.
Oh, dude. Have you ever seen It Follows?
No. Oh, I'm not a horror movie guy.
Okay. I need to tell you about this movie. All right, first let me tell you about It Follows. Bear with me, audience. They're good movies. I'm a big horror dude. I love fucking watching horror films, but there's
You're a big movie guy in general, right?
Yeah, dude. I fucking love...
Let's watch some more movies, dude.
Dude, we should, man. I also watched The Departed when I was home, which is always
so good,
dude.
So good.
Dude, Smile. Well, I think it's made by... Well, I don't want to make an assumption. This movie, It Follows, which came out a while ago, the concept was this thing, demon, whatever you want to call it, once it has its sights on you and it wants to, like, take you, it just takes the form of a random person. Maybe you know this person, or maybe it's just some random person that is always coming towards you, and if it gets to you, it kills you. And it sounds like such a simple concept.
It's stressful,
dude. It's a movie filled with like, you never know who's coming toward. There's one scene,
anyone walking towards you.
And there's so many just horrifying, creepy scenes. Like there's one where she's sitting in a classroom because she's in college, and the angle is like to her face and out like the window, and you just see like people walking on a college campus and like classes going on. And like in the distance, you can see like an old woman in just like a nightgown, like walking.
Textbook scary.
Oh my God. Like talking about it does not give it justice, and how fucking creepy it is. And it's just like slowly building scenes of her. Like you always have to be on the move because it's always following you, and you have to like get away from it. And it kills people. So I don't want to ruin it if you're going to watch it, but you're not a horror guy. So I'll ruin it now.
I kind of want to watch it now.
All right. That'd be a fun one to watch, but I don't want to make you watch a horror movie if you don't want to watch it.
I like watching horror movies with people.
Okay. It's fucking solid, dude. And the whole thing's got 80s retro vibes. The people who directed and shot it, it's so good, dude.
That's a way to just make anything work now. Just put 80s music in it. People will be like, what a time.
That really, dude. And I wasn't even alive.
Dude, that is hot take here.
Yeah, dude.
Stranger Things sucks. People like it for the nostalgia.
Yep, absolutely. It's like the biggest Steven Spielberg knockoff. Like the vibe of a bunch of kids fighting
it's
a
just
thing.
all good vibes. The music,
I know,
everything.
Dude.
It got me in for a little bit. By the end of the first season, I was like, what?
Yeah. It kind of started to lose its meaning. It was just like you said, for the vibe of it. It was just the feeling of like the 80s and the synth and the look and everything. It's like, whoa, yeah, cool. But that time always looks awesome.
It does.
That time in history.
It does.
So anyway, Smile. Similar kind of concept with like a demon thing. But when it possesses you, you start seeing people that just are like smiling at you in a really creepy way.
You're smiling at me right now.
Yeah, dude. And it, once again, not seeing it sounds kind of silly, but man, does it get under your skin. And I've seen a lot of horror movies. Just like these, you never know if it's someone that's actually there, similar to the It Follows thing. You don't know if it's a person or if it's the demon thing, just like following you and getting closer, and then it chooses to like consume you, and then it just, oh God, it's horrifying.
I'm truly freaked out right now.
Dude, we should watch It Follows and then that one. I was very impressed because, you know, as with many movies, there's a lot of bullshit ones out there. Like stuff's just getting pumped out all the time. That's lower quality. Smile was fucking solid. In terms of horror, it's like, damn, dude, people are still doing it. People are still making shit that's like,
it's good to see a refreshing good movie.
Yeah, dude.
That's not just a cookie cutter.
There's no better feeling.
Yeah.
So anyway, if we're gonna watch them, I don't want to talk anymore about it because they're good shit. All right, let's see. Oh, I saw the new Chris Rock special, which was pretty good.
I started it.
Yeah,
I fell asleep to it.
There's a weird. I don't want to bash Chris Rock because he's fucking awesome. He's the man.
I loved his Elon Musk joke. That was just so unexpected.
Yeah, I think most of it was good, and I don't want to talk about the rest of it because you haven't seen the rest of it. But whenever comics do the thing of they'll say something to get not a laugh but applause, I fucking cringe. Like, it just feels wrong. It feels weird when people are going up to like make a statement, and I'm like, isn't this this comedy?
Yeah, no, I don't like that.
He did, once again, high majority of it was awesome, but there's times where like saying stuff to get a like, yeah, you go, Chris. I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What am I watching?
No, there's a lot of people that do that.
Dude, it's
I like a good applause every now and then, but yeah, if you're just setting out.
I feel like Dave Chappelle opened that door up of having like intellectuals.
I was just gonna say, I feel like his most recent stand-up was just, I mean, he's like philosophizing on.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's a word, but
once again, I don't want to bash anyone's craft
you
because
want to go after Chappelle.
Yeah. Oh
Chappelle's great. I love
done
Chappelle.
an open mic. Yeah, Chappelle fucking
Go
sucks,
for their throats.
It's like when you go to prison, you got to hit the biggest guy in the face first, so then everyone knows not to fuck with you.
That's a good tip.
Yeah, dude, that's
All
what
right,
you're supposed to do.
I'll do that.
But in the beginning, like Chappelle's first couple of new specials, I was like, it was pretty cool. I like the intellectual break thing.
Yeah.
But now it starts to feel empty sometimes because it's like,
you just got to make sure the goal is being funny.
Yeah,
that has to be. I love a good, if you can get an awesome point across.
Yeah, well,
being funny. That's awesome.
Yeah.
If you're funny for the sake of being funny, equally awesome.
Yeah.
But when a lot of people, I feel like once you get further in your comedy career, people try to start saying things on stage instead of just be funny.
Yeah. Which, another one I watched recently, which sucks because I love this guy. That Andrew Santino, he had his new special called Cheeseburger.
I didn't love that.
Ugh. Oh man, I don't want to say that because he's so fucking funny in everything else I've seen him in, and he's a phenomenal. You ever watch the show Dave with Little Dicky?
That was the first time I saw it. I was like, this guy's hilarious.
He's phenomenal. And then him and Bad Friends with Bobby Lee is probably still the funniest podcast I've ever watched in my entire life.
Yeah.
So I don't want to bash him, but I watched that and I was like, oof. Man.
It just shows how hard stand-up is. Like,
I think
these guys are so talented.
There were some funny things in there,
funny.
like him talking about like Biden trying to go down basement stairs because Kamala's trying to like trap him into dying. And he's like, Kamala, like so yelling her name like that. That was pretty good. But he had a lot of those preachy things.
Yeah,
where he's like, how about like fuck COVID? And like, I was like, what? What are we doing?
Yeah,
you're so funny. Stop it. Breaks my heart. But he's awesome. I'm just being a dick, and I'll probably go up. What if I just went and did an open mic and only talked about...
preach.
Yeah, just talk about literally like, if you'd start doing a lat pull down to your chest instead of your neck.
I would have laughed my ass off, and the rest of the crowd would be silent.
Dude, they'd boo me. They'd be the first show you saw tomatoes thrown at. Just smacking me in the fucking face.
That you'd have to be so bad to get booed at an open mic.
Dude, when did we get rid of the tomato era? Where we were just hucking tomatoes at people, or just vegetables.
Dude, you ever been hit by fruit?
No, I don't think so. Have you?
It hurts so fucking bad.
When are you getting hit by fruit? Is this like... This sounds really traumatic, dude. I was in Florida and coconut I don't even know if a coconut's a fruit.
I'll tell a story another time.
Okay. I'm going to write that one down because we're not forgetting your fruit trauma story. This is where like all your actual fear of concussions come from, is this fucking fruit story where you just got bonked. Hold on, I need to write that. All right. Okay, this is the last thing we'll talk about because we're coming up on 2. So, recently, I'm pretty sure the federal government... No, trust me, I'm not going to go... It's not going to go that way. This is kind of it's a weirdly good thing, but I think this is probably a really bad take on this.
All right.
I feel like a lot of people will be mad if I took this stance, had a strong opinion on
Let's hear it.
They capped the insulin price to $35 for like a month's worth of insulin, which apparently insulin has been pretty expensive. Way more expensive than $35 a month for a full supply. This is good in terms of people will not die because they can't get insulin, right? And for type 1...
cheaper, more accessible.
Yeah. And for type 1 diabetics, I'm like, hell yeah. Type 1's the one that... Listen, this is going to come off as really mean. This is not... I don't want people to not have insulin. I don't... This is...
Spit it out, man.
Type 1's the one you get genetically, right? So you have no choice. Your lifestyle doesn't really affect it. You can probably mitigate it with some of the stuff, like the plant-based stuff I was talking about last time. They've shown some reversal or maintaining.
I already know where you're going with this. You're a free market guy, right?
Well, I don't know if that's...
You want the market pressure to...
No. Or maybe that's where I'm going with it. Type 2, you get. It is totally lifestyle.
It's earned.
It's earned by what you do. By bringing insulin down and making everyone have access in a nation that is 70% of us are overweight, 30% obese, I feel like we're just going to lean in heavier. Type 2 diabetes is typically a disease that comes with just eating terribly and being overweight and obese.
So that the quick fix, so to speak, becomes easier to get.
We're putting a Band-Aid on a huge problem. Like your limb's severed and you put a Band-Aid on the nub. Like, once again, this is not me saying people should not have insulin, but it's like we're building...
Like, what's the outcome going to be?
We're building a world that, like... And don't get me wrong, the people on those insulin could be trying to do better, but we're like opening the door of people to be like, I could just I stay on this and continue to get fatter and I'm more unhealthy.
When you have two choices, keep taking insulin or get healthier, and the insulin choice becomes easier.
Dude, and you talk about
less forcing pressure to get healthy.
And you look at any of the historical data on how we go about resolving illness in first world countries, it's always pills. It's always procedure. It's never lifestyle. We're just furthering this momentum of eventually we're going to die from it. We're like artificially propping up life, and then people die like in terrible weird ways and they aren't even there half the time by the time they're 60 in their head. I'm coming from a place of we need a movement that's like for getting healthier at the core, not more of the drug stuff. But they do have their purpose.
There's an analogy in antidepressants as well. I think.
An analogy?
Well, just it's similar how like that's a...
Oh, yeah.
It's very hard to get off antidepressants, and they're better as a short-term solution versus a long-term solution.
Yeah, and it's literally in the past couple of weeks, there's been 2 separate studies that came out relating to antidepressants, which are exercising does better, and then we're talking about like 30 minutes of walking 5 times a week, does better than counseling and medication combined. And the side effects of most of those SSRIs that most commonly prescribed antidepressants are suicidal thoughts, dude. And then you don't have a libido, you can't get fucking hard. Like, it's just...
The side effect is what you're trying to fix.
Dude, it's so fucked, man. And most doctors will not be like, what's your lifestyle like? They're like, oh, you're sad? We'll prescribe you this. And it's not their fault. They have to see 40 patients. They have a 10-minute window to figure you out.
Right.
And then there's Big Pharma who's also like behind all of that too. It's weird. It's weird to see the momentum of how sick can we get until someone's like, we can't keep doing this.
Yeah.
On the other side of it, we'll just be healthy people. So there's always that positive.
Yeah, that's great.
That's great. Dude. I mean, I'd rather see people get healthy, but I also can't tell anyone how to live their life. If you want to die in a puddle of vomit what are you going to do?
Let's take the reverse. What if they hiked up the price of insulin? What do you think happens?
People die. I mean,
you think anyone gets better when they wouldn't have? You think anyone makes the decision to get healthier?
I think a lot. I think people will die. Well, fuck, dude. Now I feel bad. Because I think of someone... You ever seen like a video of someone who's extremely obese? I saw one of this guy who was like 700 pounds and just like eating 11 ice cream things from an ice cream truck in the morning. Just his whole day. They were just documenting his whole day.
Okay.
And I never feel more sad than I do watching someone like that suffer, because it's addiction in just a different form. But that one is like, dude, it's so sad to see someone like unable to move.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And it's a deeper thing. It's not like they just love food.
No, it's always a deeper thing. It's once again, this person could just have been addicted to heroin, and that would be their thing, and they would not be overweight.
Right.
It's just it's taken form in the comfort of food.
Yeah.
But man, dude, it's so sad. And every time, like, that's half the reason why I want to get certified as a personal trainer, and I haven't even like trained anyone, is because whenever I see someone really overweight, there's something in me that's like, I need to help this person. I just don't know how, because it's so complex.
Yeah.
Because it all starts with eating, but fuck. Anyway, we're at 2 hours. I say we ended with if either A, you had a crying moment in the past 4 days, or B, something that made you just like, well, I guess the crying one's from a happy, well, crying could be a sad thing, but how about like something on the happy note that happened in the past 4 days?
I was going to say this last time, but I didn't. I hit my bench goal that I wanted.
Dude, what'd you hit?
225.
Dude, that's a good fucking...
Yeah. I was able to do that back in high school.
Yeah.
And lost it for a while. And I was like 225, 2 plates. It's like... That was like a big deal in high school.
It's a standard of feeling like a badass.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, dude. Trust me. I know.
I was like, let me just get back to that. And I got back to it.
Dude, that's awesome. There's no better feeling when you're making those fucking gains.
Yeah.
Dude.
Are you hyped up?
Yeah, dude. Because dude, if you think I'm going to get you, if you want to, I will get you to a place where you're like, fuck, dude, my body can do this. It's awesome, man. It's dude.
That sounds like I'm getting like a new superpower or something.
Yeah, I'm going to give you bionic legs. That's the program I'm giving you. I'm just going to chop off your legs.
What's in your program?
Surgery. But that's an awesome one. I'm trying to think if in the past 4 days.
What did you do? I'm out here getting better. What'd you do?
Not doing shit. It's a bittersweet feeling, but I've lived with for a long time, and this is the last. Ooh. We're splitting up, so to speak.
It's a cry moment.
No, I mean, okay. I mean, it's a feeling of like. I mean, he's moving to Waldo. We're still gonna hang out all the fucking time. Like before we lived with each other, we just hung out all the fucking time.
Yeah.
But I've never lived alone, ever, and it feels once again the bitterness is not living with a good friend, but then like there's this spark of like adventure, because you've been in relationships before, and I'm not obviously dating or fucking, but. It's like it's when you live with someone, I feel like there's a level of comfort, like what happens when I'm dating someone. Where like, I kind of slide into like, oh, I have my social thing here, you know. So it's
nice to know like someone will walk through that you can just talk to.
Yeah, and it like that has made me into just not wanting to go do. Like I feel like I have it all, and I'm getting really, really comfortable. And the living alone feels like a real spark of like. Okay, I gotta like. It's only me now. It's me and myself, and I gotta work on this.
And
I gotta
make it happen.
Yeah, and it's exciting. Like it's gonna be hard.
Yeah,
but it sounds really exciting to me in terms of like, gonna start working out, gonna start doing open mics. We're doing the podcast. Gonna do the improv thing. Like just explore all this shit. And I'm 29. I got the world ahead of me.
No, I have some of my friends I've also never lived alone.
Yeah,
some of my friends that live together currently were saying like when they split up eventually they'll be more intentional about hanging out and seeing each other. Like they'll maybe make a weekly whatever night, and you kind of potentially make the bond stronger in that way versus just this person's always here, you know, kind of just built in.
Yeah, there's not to talk too long. Yeah, not to talk too long on it, but there's the side also of like, if we live separately or if I live with anyone, there's always a level of like, I want my space this way. Yeah. Everyone has their different take on how they want a space.
Yeah.
And Dom and I's worlds in that way.
You want a bench in the kitchen, dude?
Yeah, dude, straight up. But there's such differences there. But like we've been cool enough to the point of where we lived for 7 years. But not having that, I feel like will definitely strengthen relationships because it no matter who you are, if you start seeing someone like slacking and doing something or maintaining something, you start to like subconsciously or consciously be like, what the fuck? Like you start to respect starts to kind of go down because you're like, we have to both do this thing. Right. Now I'm just doing the thing. And like, it happens both ways, but it's not that part I see is, it is not conducive for like, yeah, dude, I want to like hang out more when it's like, fuck, dude, you're not even cleaning up your shit.
Yeah.
Like, but anyway, all that being said, exciting, new, happy stuff.
New chapter.
Fucking literally sent the application today, so it's finalized-ish. So it's kind of done.
Finalized-ish. I like that.
Yeah. All right. On that note, thanks for tuning in again, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Love you all.